Hi guys, this is Cliff Alexander with UTO Training, and this is the UTO Show. Last week we were talking about annotations, and this week we're going to be showing you how to move something like this annotation. So what we're going to do is I'm going to click on animations. Now you got this pan and zoom and zoom and pan, but what I'm going to definitely talk about is its animation section. Now we got all these different types of animations, and again, I'm going to ask you guys if you want to go ahead and give it a shot. Just go check it out whenever you get a chance, experiment. But what I'm going to definitely show you is the customization. Now this right here, this we'll go ahead and sometimes it'll confuse people, sometimes it won't, but say for instance we're talking about certain sections of the toolbar. So I'm going to go ahead and leave this right here, and what it does is you see that the viewfinder actually puts it right to the end of the animation arrow that I just placed inside of this track. And you can put this on any kind of video and photo that you want. It won't, you can't exactly put it on audio because it has no purpose for it. But so say for instance, we're going to start from this mail and we're going to go all the way down to the blackboard symbol. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I'm at the very beginning. So I'm going to go ahead before this section. I'm going to make sure, and what you want to do is you want to click off of it, click on it, and make sure you have the four-way arrow, and then you're on the second one, on the second circle. Now just to show you, if I go on the first circle, you see that it switches over to the rotating. We don't want to rotate it, we just want to move it. So I'm going to go ahead and move it there. Put it all the way up to the mail. Then I'm going to bring it all the way over to the, and once it's lit up red, that means that that's where the animation is going to be going. So come all the way to the end, put it at the blackboard. Then to test it out, we're going to go ahead and go back into the top, or go back to the front of the track, click play. And you notice that I'm going to go ahead and pause that, or I'm going to go ahead and turn off our audio track. And I'm going to stretch this out because you notice how fast that was. So we're going to go ahead and move it down. Now say for instance, which that's a pretty good movement, a nice movement that is not herky-jerky. I'm going to move this out a little bit more. So we're talking about how, now here is the mail item, and then all these other items are right here to the blackboard. And obviously if I went ahead and moved out my timeline here, or if I wanted to go more further down in it, and then that would actually change the timing of the arrow. Now obviously you want to go ahead and do that to however you have your voiceover going to on the video and in the audio. So that's how you move objects in Camtasia 9. If there's any other questions or comments, feel free to message us at links.asu.edu/UTO training at CALEX, the number 7 at ASU.edu. You guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you soon.
It's easy to assume that the more expensive something is, the more effective the results will be. However, if you spent some time online, you must know that content trumps presentation. It's possible to produce beautiful high-end course storyboards that get lost in translation. It's equally possible to design your course storyboard on a budget and have it hit all the key points you want it to. With the right approach, any storyboard can be designed, developed, and implemented into a virtual goldmine of information. You just have to do it right. The 6 steps in developing a course storyboard we will be discussing include how to think about your target audience, how to make a plan before you start, how to use a storyboard template, how to keep your copy conversational, how to map out each section of your storyboard, and how to add a little fun to your storyboard. Your online course needs to educate your learners, so it has to be designed in a way that reaches them. The storyboard should reflect this. You can't relate to your online learners if you don't know who they are. As you analyze your ideal online learner, think about their educational background. Most audience research focuses on how adept with computers online learners are, or how much internet access they have. Looking at how they spend their free time will give you a clearer idea of what will grab their attention. Before you commit anything to paper or screen, have a brainstorming session. Brainstorm on the direction you'd like the course to go. Areas to cover include the learning objectives, the storyline, and the tone. Decide whether the course will be virtually driven or text driven. Will it have a voiceover or a live action segment? Do you want a live shoot, an animation, or a group motion delivery? Develop a list of course must-haves and see how you can fit them into your course. Developing a storyboard can be a challenge, especially when you start from scratch. Thus, whenever you can make things easier on yourself, you should. One of the ways to do this is through the tools you use to construct the storyboard itself. To make the process less stressful and time-consuming, you could use a preset storyboard template using software such as Microsoft PowerPoint. PowerPoint is great for visually driven storyboarding because it helps you keep a hold on the volume of text involved. It also allows you to switch frames around so you can perfect your visual sequence and layout. There are also a variety of free pre-built storyboard templates available online. When you're teaching an online course, some of the segments can get quite technical. They might be full of technical information and jargon. However, you can create engaging course content by starting with your course storyboard. Determine the overall tone of your course based on the subject matter and online learners' needs. Then jot down some dialogue or narration notes in your storyboard layout. For example, add witty remarks or helpful tips that you will share with online learners in the next module. Conversational copy enables your online learner to connect with the course content on a personal level, while it simplifies complex topics or tasks that are more difficult to assimilate. You can always link to scripts or other text-based resources you've already developed within the storyboard. That way, you can quickly access these assets when it's time to develop the course. Ideally, a course storyboard should include all the pertinent details. That said, it's better to start with too much content than too little. Gather as much information as possible and write it down. Then whittle it down to what is most important. Massage the content further to put in consumable chunks and formats. For example, superimposed bullet points work better than lengthy prose. Build each section on its own and cut it down. Then put the whole thing together and omit the unnecessary elements to streamline the e-learning course design even further. Once you have the full framework of your storyboard, look at it again. Make sure the content gives online learners an opportunity to learn on their own terms. For example, it caters to a diverse range of learning preferences. Make necessary adjustments to ensure that you're conveying the main takeaways in a way that is easy to consume. You should also add fun and entertaining touches throughout the storyboard to connect with the learner. For example, you could pick a more lively voice talent or lead with a playful e-learning character. You can include pleasurable transitions between ideas, maybe in the form of a relevant fun fact. Online learners learn better when they're enjoying themselves, so build some pleasure into your course design. Putting together an e-learning storyboard may seem like a colossal challenge, but if you take a step-by-step approach, you'll be done before you know it. In this session, we discuss the 6 tips to create an effective online course storyboard. How to think about your target audience, how to make a plan before you start, how to use a storyboard template, how to keep your copy conversational, how to map out each section of your storyboard, and how to add a little fun to your storyboard. Remember to focus on your audience and produce something that speaks to them more than it speaks to you. Create a solid plan before you do anything. When done properly, an e-learning storyboard has the power to guide the direction of your online course. For questions about this training segment or for other training questions, you can reach me at christopher.nigel.lee@asu.edu.